Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. The red bird pulled on the chariot and swiftly flew into the clouds as it sped toward the flying star house. Chen Tiandu coughed again. He said, that old fiend's sword path. That's a new sword path. I've never heard of it. Yi Zhen's expression was calm as he looked at the clouds ahead of him. The Confucian school cultivates positive vital energy and obtains expansive heavenly energy. The Buddhist sects cultivate seals and Brahmic chants. The Taoist sects cultivate nature and life. The sword path Sikong Beichen unleashed at the end was indeed peculiar. In that case, this senior Lu whom that old fiend Sikong mentioned truly exists? Chen Tiandao asked. Yi Zhen merely nodded and said nothing else. The red bird picked up speed. In the Thousand Willow Monastery on Thousand Willow Mountain, Xia Changqiu stood under a huge tree. He looked up at Yu Shangrong who was leaning against the tree trunk and said, the people of the Flying Star House are here. Yu Shangrong lightly leaped off the tree and looked at the horizon. I see. Yu Shangrong's voice had barely faded when Zhenghai appeared next to Yu Shangrong. Shall we have a contest? You took the words right out of my mouth. Yu Shangrong spread his arms and flew down the mountain. Yu Zhenghai flew down the mountain as well. Xia Changqiu shook his head. Are they going to have a contest at a time like this? Tian Buji, who had led the elders, Wu and Ji Fengxing from the fair hall over, called out, Monastery Master. Let's head down to fend them off. Little Yuan and Conk flew down the mountain as well. Shortly after, the others gathered around the gazebo. They had a great view here, they could see most of the area around Thousand Willow Mountain from here. Wu asked, Senior brother, who do you think is stronger? Ji Fengxing smiled and said, of course it's big brother Yu. Look at the way he stands and moves. His every movement is brimming with confidence as though victory is already in his hands. He's a true elite swordsman. After saying this, he saw little Yuan and Conk flying over. Then, he quickly added, eldest big brother Yu is powerful as well. Look at his saber at his waist. If it were anyone else, they would look tacky for carrying a saber in that manner. However, it looks imposing and domineering when eldest big brother Yu. Wu rolled her eyes at Ji Fengxing. Then, she looked at little Yuan and asked, Sister Yuan, who's more powerful among them? Little Yuan was caught off guard by the question. She scratched her head and pointed at the duo alternately as she muttered, eldest senior brother. Second senior brother. Eldest senior brother. Second senior brother. Ji Fengxing. While little Yuan was hesitating between the two choices, many cultivators from the Thousand Willow Mountain appeared. Yu Shangrong flashed a faint smile and said, let's not use our avatars or energies unless there's a real danger. What do you say? Good idea. That way I won't have the advantage of my avatar against you. Yu Shangrong dove. Well, I won't have the advantage of my desolate grade weapon against you as well. Yu Zhenghai dove as well. Meng Changdong and Xie Xian led the 1,000 cultivators in the air as they maintained a low altitude. There were disciples from different sects so they did not ride on a flying chariot. To conserve strength, they did not fly at top speed as well. When Thousand Willow Mountain was within sight, Meng Changdong shouted, stop. Xie Xian was clearly displeased. He said disapprovingly, it's just the Thousand Willow Monastery. Why are we acting so cowardly? Caution is the parent of safety. Liang Zidao was an 8.5-leaf cultivator, but he was still killed by the Thousand Willow Monastery. We shouldn't underestimate them. Indeed, their 1,000-strong cultivators were impressive. However, most of them were only in the Brahman Sea realm or the Divine Court realm. Xie Xian shook his head and said, you're a 9-leaf cultivator, but you're afraid? This isn't fear, it's caution. Even before the mission began, he knew his principles would be at odds with Xie Xian's. He knew Yi Zhen had intentionally sent this man to bother him. During the journey here, they did not speak much at all. Xie Xian looked up and said, if you're afraid, you can leave now. I'll inform Elder Yi about what happened. He had intentionally spoken loudly. Upon hearing these words, the 1,000 cultivators behind them laughed. Soon after, someone pointed at the Thousand Willow Monastery and cried out, "What's that?" "I think they're cultivators. They're coming at us." Xie Xian said coldly, "Kill them." Dozens of cultivators flew forward to meet them. However, Xie Xian did not expect the two cultivators, one wielding a sword and the other wielding a saber, would go on a killing spree as soon as they made contact. 1, 2, 3. Junior brother, you're too slow. Zhenghai swung his jasper saber around as he flitted through the cultivators' ranks. With every flash of his blade, corpses fell to the ground. Yu Shangrong aimed his sword at his targets and sent 5 of them flying at lightning speed. He did not even look at his targets as he turned around and said, "Eldest senior brother, you're the one who's slow." Meng Changdong frowned. Xie Xian frowned slightly as well before he shouted, "Who goes there? Announce yourselves." Yu Shangrong paid no attention to Xie Xian's words and continued on his killing spree. Yu Zhenghai was the same. Both of them fought alongside each other and seemed to be competing on who had the highest number of kills. Don't just stand there. Do something. The hundreds of disciples standing Meng Changdong and Xie Xian sent energy seals toward the two attackers. Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong swung their weapons. Parrying energy seals with their weapons was part of their daily basic training. They could hold back violent storms easily, let alone these weak cultivators. They did not even have to utilize their energies. Bam. 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 The energy seals bore down on the duo, completely blotting out the sky. However, the attacks were parried by their extremely quick saber and sword techniques. They're not using their energies? Xie Xian was puzzled. Meng Changdong said, "Brother Xie, give the order to retreat. These two aren't pushovers. You're boosting other people's morale while reducing your own. No wonder Yizhen doesn't think too highly of you," Xie Xian chided. Faced with such formidable enemies, Meng Changdong did not bicker with Xie Xian. Instead, he looked at Yu Shangrong and Yu Zhenghai. He noticed the duo's movements were simple, precise, and thorough. The movements and techniques were just right, there was no wasted energy at all. Without experiencing many life or death situations, numerous encounters with the blade, or a life tainted with blood, it was impossible to hone such a killing technique. He persisted and said again, "Brother Xie. Retreat." Xie Xian turned a deaf ear to Meng Changdong's words. Moreover, he leaped up dozens of meters in the sky with his hand tightly gripping his saber hilt. He cried out, "My turn." Whiz. Xie Xian's avatar appeared. 9 leaves could be seen spinning around the red lotus. Destroy the mountains and rivers. A huge energy saber appeared and swung down on Yu Shangrong and Yu Zhenghai like a guillotine. Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong exchanged a look. Clearly, they had a tacit understanding of what was in each other's minds. The Jasper Saber's energy saber appeared. The Longevity Sword's energy sword appeared as well. The Jasper Saber's energy saber shot out. The Great Dark Heaven Memorial's Dark Heaven Starlight. Meanwhile, Yu Shangrong split into 3. His energy sword pierced the Red Lotus avatar at lightning speed. Golden energy. Foreign tribesmen. The remaining cultivators seemed frightened by this sight. The Red Lotus avatar was instantly shattered by the energy saber and energy sword. There was no doubt about the outcome. Yu Zhenghai unleashed his grand technique and appeared before Xie Xian. While he kicked Xie Xian, he did not forget to say, "Second junior brother, I'm faster." Yu Shangrong appeared above Xie Xian and kicked Xie Xian's chest. "Eldest senior brother, look closely. This is my second kick." Bam. Xie Xian spat out blood in the air. His heart sank as he said in a faltering voice, "They're so powerful?" At this moment, a person came speeding from the forest of towering trees. He shouted, "Elder Ye's orders. Everyone has to retreat immediately." No questions asked. The remaining cultivators were scared out of their wits, to begin with. With this order, they immediately flee in all directions, running wildly for their lives. Zhenghai shook his head as though he thought it was a shame. See that, second junior brother? They're already so frightened before I could even get serious. Yu Shangrong did not look at Zhenghai. He said in confusion, retreat? The two of them had been holding back their strength all this time. They had only unleashed their energies when they encountered Xie Xian. With their rich battle experiences, they kicked Xie Xian between them like a ball shortly after they engaged in combat. Most of the remaining cultivators scattered immediately. Their morale was shattered. This was unexpected. The duo wondered if they displayed too much of their strength or if the Red Lotus cultivators were just timid. Xie Xian was heavily injured. His internal organs felt as though they were crushed. After spitting a mouthful of blood in the sky, he plummeted to the ground. Boom. Xie Xian landed on the ground. Eldest senior brother, keep an eye on him. I'll go after the others. Yu Shangrong flew forward. Second junior brother, you should keep an eye on him. I'll go after them. Zhenghai summoned his avatar. His 150-foot avatar stood on a golden lotus. Every single leaf was bright, full, and brimming with vitality. After consuming Qi Yao's heart, Zhenghai gained 1,200 years of life. Aoyu's heart provided him with 500 years of life, while the redfish heart gave him 100 years of life. While breaking through to the 9-leaf stage, the golden lotus consumed 1,300 years of life. After reaching the 9-leaf stage, he gained 600 years of life. In total, he gained 1,100 years of life. For Yu Shangrong, a short-lived citizen of the Melalot nation, this was slightly cruel. Eldest senior brother, keep an eye on him. Yu Shangrong no longer looked at Zhenghai's golden lotus avatar. He faded out of focus and gave chase. Zhenghai glanced at his avatar. He felt that he had been too insensitive by manifesting it in front of his second junior brother's face as well. Therefore, he said with a sigh, fine, I'll let you do what you want just this once. After he finished speaking, Zhenghai turned around and looked at Xie Xian, who was lying in a pit. Since his avatar was destroyed, he was inevitably dealt a heavy blow. He glared at Zhenghai and the shining golden 9-leaf avatar. The 9 leaves spun above him, looking as though they would drop at any time and slick his head off his body. Zhenghai shook his head. Is this all? Zhenghai's words seemed to aggravate Xie Xian. He grunted and spat out another mouthful of blood. His body trembled, he had a hard time accepting this. 9-leaf golden lotus. Yi Zhen has really done me in. Xie Xian pushed his palms on the ground and shot up toward Zhenghai. He burned his sea of qi and was bathed in red flames. Zhenghai shook his head again. Futile. The jasper saber flew from his waist into his hand. Xie Xian joined his palms together. The energy seals in the sky spun around him. His eyes were bloodshot. Up against 2 enemies, he had no hope of winning. However, he did not believe he did not stand a chance if it was a one-on-one battle. He launched energy seals after energy seals at his opponent until they formed a dragon. This reminded Zhenghai of the rune seal golden dragon. He did not expect someone in the Red Lotus domain had mastered this technique as well. The 2 moves were similar in some ways, but the red energy seal's power seemed to be more formidable after they had merged. Zhenghai tossed his jasper saber out. Ever since he reached the 9-leaf stage, he had no chance to use his jasper saber without any reservations. Now, he would be able to fight to his heart's content with a 9-leaf cultivator. Sovereign Descent. Zhenghai's jasper saber spun up before it hovered in front of his 150-foot avatar. The energy sabers were like a waterfall from the 9 heavens as they fell and instantly overwhelmed Xie Xian and his red energy seals. Desolate grade weapon. Ding. Killed a target. Reward, 0 merit points. Domain extra, 100 merit points. Ding. Killed a target. Reward, 0 merit points. Domain extra, 100 merit points. Ding. Killed a target. Reward, 4,000 merit points. Domain extra, 1,000 merit points. The influx of rewards surprised Zhou. He muttered, the flying star house. Naturally, he was happy to see the numbers rising on the system dashboard. Merit points, 50,940. I have 50,000 merit points now. Alas, I can't purchase golden lotus leaves anymore. Otherwise, I could instantly reach the 10-leaf stage. The priority is to replenish the item cards. Zhou opened up the item column. When he saw the price, he frowned. 20,000. This is daylight robbery. I'm your only customer. I won't buy this. I'll wait until you close down for business. He closed the system dashboard and continued to cultivate. He remembered how he first used the deadly strike cards to kill the third person on the black roll, Zhou. After that incident, he had been using the cards frequently. At Measure Heaven River, he used 5 cards at one go. After reaching the 9-leaf stage, the prices of the item cards were clearly increasing at a much quicker pace than before. When he thought about this, he knew that he should not have bought deadly strike cards back then. If he focused on improving his cultivation base and only purchased the deadly strike cards now, he would have been truly undefeatable. Zhou opened his eyes. Purchase. Ding. Spent 20,000 merit points. Obtained deadly strike card X1. Zhou stared at the card. As he expected, the price tag under the card changed to 21,000 merit points. Fortunately, the increase isn't as crazy as before. Come to think of it, I might be too dependent on the item cards. Zhou closed his eyes again. He kept hearing the notifications of reward points from the domain extra. He had a sudden thought. His ears shone with blue radiance. To gain the power to hear everything, so that we can hear voices in all realms at will. The sounds in every corner of the Thousand Willow Monastery rang clearly in his ears. I didn't expect Senior Lu's disciples to be 9-leaf cultivators. There aren't even that many 9-leaf cultivators in the Flying Star House. Do you see the 2 young girls? The fierce and cute one is almost at the 8-leaf stage. The innocent-looking one with the flute in her right hand is at the 3-leaf stage. I heard her say that she's the youngest of the 10 disciples. Apart from these 4 people, Senior Lu has another 6 disciples who haven't shown up yet. That's too scary. I suddenly pity Ji Fengxing. To think he rejected the evil sky pavilion. Zhou could hear everything. Moreover, he could selectively mute any sound he wanted as well. He muted this conversation before he increased the input of extraordinary power. The heavenly writing power immediately expanded his range to cover the entire Thousand Willow Mountain. The sound of the wind, the birds, and the waterfall rang in his ears, and he quickly muted them. The range of this power seemed to have expanded greatly. He found that it was much easier to use it now as well. The consumption of his extraordinary power was like a small stream, it was not as outrageous as before. Not only did his extraordinary power cover the entire Thousand Willow Mountain, but its range covered 100 miles behind the mountain as well. The rustling of the grass and tree leaves seemed to have merged with the land that moved in tandem with the sky. Ba-dump. 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 The sounds of heartbeats. Zhou recited the incantation for the heavenly writing power again. In the forest behind Thousand Willow Mountain. A person was panting heavily at this moment. After he caught his breath, he said in a hushed tone, "The most dangerous place is often the safest." I didn't expect Xia Chengxiu to have such powerful helpers. However, the young are too inexperienced, after all. Not even Yizhen can do anything to me. Upon hearing these words, Zhou slowly opened his eyes. Then, he pushed away from the ground. Like a phantom, he left the courtyard. With his grand technique, he entered the forest behind the mountain. It was quiet at the back of Thousand Willow Mountain. Zhou made no further movement. He surveyed his surroundings as his ears glowed blue again. Powerful cultivators could conceal their auras and keep quiet to effectively stay hidden. Those who were smarter would even fake their own deaths to fool the eyes and senses of the others. Meng Changdong was leaning against a tree trunk as he concealed his aura. There was a reason he could survive to this day as an elder of the Flying Star House. To Yi Zhen, Meng Changdong's timidity was a sign of weakness. However, the Flying Star House was short of talents. Moreover, he was a 9-leaf cultivator. That was the reason Yi Zhen had to put up with him. Before they could even make a move during this annihilation mission, their army was completely destroyed. Meng Changdong did not go head-to-head with Yu Shangrong. As he fled, he had been thinking of ways to escape the pursuit of the terrifying swordsman. When he seemed to have depleted all his power from fleeing, he decided to boldly try his luck and turned back to Thousand Willow Mountain. He recalled the cultivator who had flown here to relay the message. He was puzzled. Based on his understanding of Yi Zhen and the house master, they would not give up halfway. Moreover, it had been verified that the Thousand Willow Monastery was colluding with foreign tribesmen. Was this not the pretext the Flying Star House wanted? He finally calmed down at this moment. He shook his head. Perhaps, it's time to retire. After he finished sighing, a voice rang from behind him. Where are you retiring to?